Hello, Durud and Shalom. Hi, everyone. How's my audio? Okay, guys, we need to talk about Reza Pahlavi because, I told you so. Let me actually turn off the audio on my phone. Okay, that actually shows my audio is working, so fantastic. Guys, when you come here, eventually make sure you like the stream so that more people end up joining us. If you like the stream, more people will actually come here. Yeah, and also, by the way, Blue in the chat is saying, I like the lion and sun flag that you have behind you. Well, thank you. I just got that. I appreciate that you noticed it. I really do appreciate that you noticed it. George is saying you're early. Oh, really? I thought I'm late. By the way, guys, you like that? You like my new flag? I'm glad that right at I was hoping that you guys would notice it, and somebody did. Look at it. It's beautiful. Shalom, shalom. Oh, Jewish Samantha is here saying shalom. By the way, guys, Israel is in the chat. Let me actually see. What time is it in Israel right now? Israel time now. Okay, good. We came here. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you guys are awake. Last time, you guys were asleep in Israel, and I felt kind of lonely here. I felt kind of lonely with that my Israeli followers in the chat. It kind of, yeah, 8:30. Okay, fantastic. Honestly, yeah, it was completely different. I came at a time when there were Israelis were all in bed. Most of them, I mean, the cat lady was here, and some other Israelis were here, which is fantastic. But hold on, let me ban this idiot in the chat. There we. Oh, wait, hold on, not this one, not you. Yusuf is great. Hold on, there's an Iranian in the chat. I'm just gonna ban him. Fantastic. Got rid of some annoying people. Yes, yeah, the flag. Hey, you guys like that? People are saying Armin and the flag. Yeah, somebody else said love the flag. You like it, guys? You like it? But yeah, it's a lot more fun when my followers from Israel are awake. The chat is a lot more fun. So I appreciate you guys being. Not that I don't appreciate all the other people from around the world. They're all great, but it's much better when Israelis are awake too. Oh, Yusuf is saying I love it as well. Fantastic. On the BG, Nico is saying, Armin, why do you have an effing Iranian flag on the BG? What's the BG? What's B? Because what does BG stands for? Why wouldn't have an Iranian flag? I'm Iranian. Yeah, the cat lady is wide awake. Fantastic. What the hell, Nico? Like, what does BG mean? Why wouldn't I have an Iranian flag? That's a weird question. Oh, on the background. On the background, why would I not have an Iranian flag? What That's a weird question. Why would I not have an Iranian flag? I'm Iranian. That's why I have an Iranian flag. Such a bizarre question to ask. And like, let me actually focus on the people who are appreciating my beautiful flag, because other people are appreciating it. So, guys, Israelis, can you tell me if there are any conversation regarding Reza Pahlavi in Israel? And if so, what are people talking about? Like, what are the takes on Reza Pahlavi in Israel? Because because yeah, because Reza Pahlavi is the only solution to all the problems that we're having, both the Iranian people and Israeli people. Nico, you're so full of crap today. Saying, why don't you have a Canadian flag? It's more beautiful. You're so full of crap today. I can't believe, like, what's up with you today. Why are you dissing the Iranian flag? The Iranian flag and the lion and sun is such a beautiful flag. You're so full of shit. It is a beautiful flag, and I'm proud to be Iranian, and I'm proud to have my flag behind me. And I really don't like your attitude regarding the flag. Fuck off with that attitude. What a bullshit take. It's actually a very beautiful flag. The lion and sun flag of Iran is a very beautiful flag. No, not Persia, Iran. It's Iran. It's called Iran. It's called Iran. Yes. And also, I mean, I am Canadian as well, but between a leaf and a freaking lion with a sword. You pick the leaf? There's a flag with first of all, the colors are just red and white, and also it's a leaf. This flag has a freaking lion, and it's holding a goddamn sword. And you think that flag is superior? Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off with that take. No tolerance for it here. My lion will beat your yeah. Yeah, there we go. Here's people with the proper take in the chat. The lion and sword is badass. Yeah, fantastic. That's better. All right, so guys, are there any like? Let me actually, because people are not talking about the Reza Pahlavi, maybe I should just put the video on, because I was like, did anybody mention Reza Pahlavi in the chat? Because I want to see before I get because once I play this, we're gonna get some biased takes. Oh, look at okay. Let me actually. Somebody is asking, why are you not in Iran? Why do you think I'm not in Iran? I burned a Quran live, like on my videos. No, I'm not live on there. I was gonna say live on. I mean, I tore up a Quran live on there, but I burned a Quran in viral videos online. I'm an anti-regime activist. Why do you think I'm not in Iran? Also, I built a family and everything. I have now. Um, yes, Susie's here. Susie's like, bruh, when did you get the flag? It just today. It came today, Susie. Do you like it? Susie, do you like the flag? Do you like my flag? Yes. Susanna saying 2025 was the year AR finally went full Javid Shah. Honestly, I have personally been there for a while, but yeah, maybe the entirety of AR. Sure. 2025. Okay, so somebody's saying. No, look at this. Nico is with another bullshit take saying, Armin, you've got to name the secular jihadists to the Zionist nationalists. All your videos are just Iran and Israel. So boring. First of all, fuck off with that take. And also, secular jihadists and Zionist nationalists are not a contradiction. They're actually completely, because Zion is so jihadist is just a joke. Obviously, we're not jihadists. So when it comes to secular activism, supporting Zionism goes completely in line with secularism. So maybe you're too ignorant to understand this, but Zionism was a secular movement. All the founders of Zionism were secular, so your ignorance is showing. And also, you're saying all your videos are just Iran and Israel. So boring. Well, anybody who finds Iran and Israel boring could fuck off. Let me see. Susanna saying, I'm literally getting a Shiro Khorshid. The call was that for my car. Yeah, okay, good. Like, show me, take a picture and show it to me there. Yeah, also secular doesn't necessarily mean atheist, because as you can see, Shauna here is a pro-secular Christian here. Yeah, Mariam is saying Pachame, like the Shiro Khorshid flag is perfect. Great. By the way, guys, I'm assuming, because I'm not getting any responses from Israelis regarding any opinions on Reza Pahlavi in Israel. I'm assuming that means that in Israel, there's not that much of a view regarding Reza Pahlavi. I mean, I just recently read two articles on Jerusalem Post, one pro Reza Pahlavi and one anti Reza Pahlavi. So I know it's a major topic among, at least among the elites and the political political class. Yeah, Sohail is here saying, "Oh, the flag." Yeah, hey, Sohail, you like it? So I know a lot of more informed people in Israel are talking about Reza Pahlavi more and more. But I need you guys, the Israelis who follow this channel, to become more familiar with Reza Pahlavi. So, oh, by the way, Hume is saying secular Muslim is a contradictory position. Okay, so yes, secularism and Islam are contradictory, but secularism and Muslim are not contradictory. You know why? Because Muslims could have hold un-Islamic positions and still be Muslim. I mean, most Muslims don't follow Islam perfectly, anyways. So if you're a secular Islam is a contradiction, because Islam and secularism cannot be at the same time. But secular and Muslim, that's not a contradiction, because Muslims, just like other people in the world, could have contradictory beliefs, and could also be not very informed about their own religion, or could be uninformed about the religion, and even though they're still Muslim, they could still hold positions that are not approved by Islam. So that's how I see it. There are secular Muslims out there, and they're holding positions that contradicts Islam, but it's not but they're not but they're still a Muslim, even though, because nobody, I mean, it's a good thing that they're not a perfect Muslim, but almost no Muslim is a perfect Muslim unless they're ISIS or, Ayatollah or something. So guys, make sure you like the stream so that more people end up showing up here. Why are we not on Twitter? Hold on. We were supposed to also be live on Twitter. I forgot to do that. This way. So let me actually, guys, show you a video regarding Reza Pahlavi. Oh yeah, okay. So some Israelis in the chat saying, "We love the people of Iran. We hate the criminal government of Iran." Fantastic. That's the proper take. All right. Let me actually. Pahlavi needs to assume a real leadership position, or else he wouldn't be taken seriously. He has already taken a serious leadership position. Let me actually show you a video regarding, because so Reza Pahlavi is now getting more and more exposure on Western media, and it seems like there are some major mainstream Middle Eastern mainstream outlets that are now backing him as well. And in the US, we noticed that he's now constantly getting invited in major outlets as the alternative to the Islamic Republic. And guys, there is literally no one else. So anybody who kind of suggests that, oh, Reza Pahlavi is not a good option, they have no idea what they're talking about, because it's either the Islamic Republic or Reza Pahlavi. That's the only guy. So let me actually tell you about the other alternatives other than Reza Pahlavi. So one side we have the Islamic Republic with the Ayatollahs. The other side is Reza Pahlavi. And if you guys want to go and look at other options, we have the reformers, which are actually worse than the Ayatollahs, the current hardliners. We have the MEK, which is a murderous, disgusting communist Islamic cult, which is actually worse than the Islamic Republic. And then we have the leftists, the Marxists, the leftists, and we also have the cessationists. And the thing about all these other options that I mentioned as opposition to the Islamic Republic is that they're so much hated by the Iranian people that if you are, I don't know, American or Israeli, and you want to maybe invest in them as an opposition against the Islamic Republic, what you're going to do is, because these groups are so hated by the Iranian people, you're going to push some Iranians back to the arms of the regime. And again, let me tell Israelis, especially in the chat, I told you many, many times that the only final solution for the Islamic Republic is to invest in the Iranian people. And now you can see that Mossad has also came to that conclusion. after the 12-day war we have had, now the operations of Mossad has visibly shifted into focusing on inspiring the Iranian people, and also showing unity with the Iranian people, and trying to also encourage them to rise up and topple the regime. This shows that Mossad and all the other experts in Israel understand, just like I have been telling you for the past couple of years, that as good as air operations and intelligence operation and espionage is when it comes to weakening the Islamic Republic, there is no toppling of the regime without boots on the ground. And we have no boots on the ground because the United States is not willing to have boots on the ground. Israel is not capable of having boots on the ground in Iran. And the only boots on the ground that you could only rely on are the Iranian people themselves. That's why it's very important that you do not sacrifice short-term, long-term results for short-term gains. Meaning that there are some people, some groups that are anti-regime, and then you might be tempted to invest in because they might weaken the regime, but at the same time, if you invest in them, you would alienate the Iranian people, and by alienating the Iranian people, you miss the final solution. You really need the Iranian people on your side. Oh, Mosley, that's a very good question. I got in a super chat. I will respond to the super chat. So thank you for the super chat. I will respond to that. So, for example, if you invest in cessationists as a way to fight the Islamic Republic, you might be able to weaken the regime a bit, but you actually strengthen the regime in the long term because the Iranian people really care about their border integrity, and that would push the Iranian people, maybe some of them, back to the arms of the regime, and the regime needs the internal support to be able to maintain power. That's the main weakness of the regime is dissent and popular uprising. So the only option that you have among the people to support and the movement to support to weaken the Islamic Republic, but at the same time gain the support of the Iranian people, is Reza Pahlavi. By the way, let me actually respond to the super chat because it's a very important one. By the way, guys, if you do super chat, but the best ways to support the channel is, other than liking the stream, is super chats and also becoming members. People becoming members are a very effective way of supporting the channel. So Moses is saying, would Nargis Mohammadi be one of the lead, the one would be one to lead the change? Nargis Mohammadi is extremely dangerous. Please do not trust her. Please do not support her. She's the one who got a Nobel Peace Prize. She is an anti-Israeli leftist. She's one of those people that I keep warning you about. Again, there are two checks that you need to. Again, Susie in the chat is also saying no. Every time you want to find Iranians, and again, there's plenty of them, the Iranians that you want to invest in, there's two checks: their position on Pahlavi, their position on Israel. Nargis Mohammadi is an anti-Pahlavi, anti-Israeli, leftist, far leftist, pro MEK, which is Mujahideen Khalq, activist, so for some reason she has managed to basically be on the wrong side of everything. Okay, so again, just because somebody is anti, and also guys, she's not really anti-Islamic Republic. She is being used by the Islamic Republic to be a safe form of the opposition that they just bring her out anytime they need to weaken the Pahlavi position. That's what she's being used for. Okay. So basically, Nargis Mohammadi has all the wrong positions. She's a far leftist. She's sympathetic to the MEK. She's sympathetic to the reformers, which is amazing that you could do actually both. She's anti-Israeli and she's anti-Pahlavi. So no, F her. Forget her. Again, the only person that you have that you could trust among the opposition in Iran is Reza Pahlavi and the team around him. That's the only person that you have. And I saw an article, again, I just read two articles on Jerusalem Post. one pro Reza Pahlavi and one against him. And the one against him was kind of suggesting that he doesn't have support among Iranians. Let me actually show you how stupid that claim is. Where is this article? Is it this one? No, it's this one. Found it. So, with regards, nope, not that one. That's the video I want to show you. But this is the article. Okay, so this is in the. Where is this article? What is this? Oh, the Times. Okay, so this is the Times. Let's actually search for. If you go down, where is it? Where is it in this article? Yeah, okay, here. If you go down here in this article, you can see it says, in the absence of official polls, hard data is elusive. But a recent survey conducted among Iranian citizens by researchers in the United States suggested that 80% of respondents favored the crown prince as leader of the country. And also, this is another one. This is the one that we used before. And it says 2 Iranian academics in Netherlands place him top of the list of 24 candidates drawn from the regime and elsewhere. Yeah, and also with a huge margin. So that basically settles it. That's a huge, uh, popular support. And again, different polls show different results. But here's what all the polls suggest. Every single poll suggests that he's number one in popularity by a huge margin to number two. So again, different polls will give you different numbers regarding how popular he is, but all of them say this, that he's number one, and number two is a far away distant option. Oh, so we got a super chat. Okay, so this is a bullshit. By the way, thank you for the super chat, but that's a bullshit take. Saying the CIA installed a brutal dictator, Pahlavi, who Pahlavi ruthlessly oppressed and plundered the Iranian people for profit of Western oil companies, forcing them to seek help from Islamists to overthrow him. So that is a bullshit take. First of all, the CIA didn't put the brutal Pahlavi. They didn't put him in place. He was already in place. There was Mossadegh was doing an illegal coup against the Shah. Mossadegh was put on. He was appointed by the Shah himself, and he was based on the constitution of Iran at that time. The Shah had the legal authority to remove him, but Mossadegh was not letting the Shah remove him, and what he was doing, but he was using thugs to in the streets to do an illegal coup against the Shah. This is a false version of history that leftists have been telling you, that the CIA came and did a coup in Iran. No, the CIA didn't come and do a coup in Iran. The CIA came and actually helped the Shah do what he legally had the right to do. Mossadegh didn't legally have the right to dismantle the parliament. When the Shah wanted Mossadegh gone, this was the rule of the law. So imagine how people are saying CIA installed a brutal dictator, where the rule of the law was being violated by Mossadegh, and actually Mossadegh was being anti-democratic. He had a fake election done in the parliament by the members of the parliament. I will go into great detail to show you how fucking bullshit that is. And also, the people who call Pahlavi, Mohammad Reza Shah, the father of Reza Pahlavi, a brutal dictator, they are fucking completely clueless, because a lot of people were accusing Mohammad Reza Shah of having torturing people in prison. So Mohammad Reza Shah opened the door to international investigations to come and investigate the prisons. And they went into the prisons, to see if people. So he was like, come see, because a lot of leftists at that time were basically spreading false allegations against Mohammad Reza Shah. So he opened to all the prisons of Iran to all sorts of international investigation to come and see, like, if torture is happening in my prisons, I want to know. Come tell me, because I want to stop it, right? And I kid you not, some of the complaints of the prisoners were the branding of the smoke of the cigarettes that they're getting, and the branding of the soap bars that they're getting. That was the level of complaint that they were giving to the international investigators, right? There was one one of the prisoners that they have apparently have been beaten to death, and they actually, some of the reporters came and they were recording the prison from far away, and they noticed that she was walking in the prison and she was completely healthy and she was smoking. So they went to her like, hey, we were told that you were beaten and to almost to the point of death. You seem to be completely fine. And she was like hiding her face, and she started refused to talk to the camera. So these were all the false lies that they were spreading around Muhammad Reza Pahlavi back in the time, and they continue to this day, and they have been alive to this day because leftists continue to repeat them. So I need to do a live stream actually starting to respond to all these lies that people keep telling about the Pahlavis, right? And I was saying, and plundered the Iranian people for the profit of Western oil companies. No, that's also bullshit, because in fact, Mohammad Reza Shah, I could show you clips of Mohammad Reza Shah standing up to the West every time the West wanted to bully Iran regarding oil. Mohammad Reza Shah actually, so Mohammad Reza Shah had a proper relationship with Western countries, but he was also refused to be bullied around. In fact, if anything, one reason why Carter got support in United States to stop supporting Mohammad Reza Shah was because Mohammad Reza Shah was defiant. Like he wanted to have good relationship with Western countries, but not to the point where they were bullying him around regarding oil prices. So he stood up against Western countries when it got too much. And some people suggest that might be one of the reasons why Americans stopped supporting him and they allowed the mullahs to come and take over. So Muhammad Reza Shah had a perfect balance. He was very humble. He really cared about the Iranian people, and in fact, his love for this, like, I mean, I call it a weakness, but that's actually it's a strength. But if you could call it a weakness, his only weakness was his uh, love for the Iranian people. There are Imagine people like crypto fanatic. I mean, I already told this to him last time, and he keeps saying this stuff like this, which shows how people just refuse to learn. Because let me just tell you two things about Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, Mohammad Reza Shah, and then tell me how he's a brutal dictator. Mohammad Reza Shah was there was an attempted assassination on him. He was shot. He talked to the person that shot him, and he set him free, and he forgave him, the person that shot him. And the revolution of 1979, one reason that it became successful, because let me tell you, Muhammad Reza Shah had absolutely had the power to crush the 1979 revolution and not let it happen. The only reason why he didn't, and he just decided to leave Iran, is because he came to the understanding that if he stays and fights the revolution, there will be so much blood. A lot of people think Muhammad Reza Shah was weak, and instead he should have just stood there and fought, and because he could have stopped the revolution, and if he stopped the revolution, we wouldn't be stuck with the mullahs for 46 years. But the reason why he couldn't do it is because he could not bear being responsible for Iranians dying. And his weakness was his love for the Iranian people. So the person that they call the brutal dictator, in fact, the people who maybe more justifiably criticize him is that he was actually too passive. He just loved the Iranian people so much that that's what led to the Islamic Revolution of 1979 being successful. because he didn't want to suppress the Iranian people. He didn't want to fight back because he thought if he comes into the streets and fights back really strong, too many Iranian people will die. And that's why he just packed up and left, because between him remaining a king and the lives of the Iranian people, he chose the lives of Iranian people. That's why, unfortunately, the revolution was successful. He could have stopped it. He just didn't want to kill people. So, but I appreciate the super chat, because crypto fanatic, what you're saying is BS, but it's a popular BS, so it gives me the opportunity to respond to it. We got another super chat. By the way, guys, thank you so much for the super chats. Jack is saying, Armin, even if there will be a regime change, what do you do with all the millions of extremists that currently support the IRGC? Seems like the de-radicalization is inevitable. What's your take on it? Yes, that's a legitimate concern. Among all concerns that are delegitimate, this one is a legitimate concern, because we will have to deal with this for a long time. However, it would be so. The concern is, once the Islamic Republic falls, we will have thousands of people who are extremists, who are supporting of the Islamic Republic, who will turn into terrorists once the regime falls. That's a problem that we will have, but again, remember, that's a less of a problem than having an Islamic Republic, having a regime to deal with, right? So having the Islamic Republic being able to suck the wealth of the Iranian people and the natural resources of Iran and fuel extremism and radicalism all around the Middle East and elsewhere, that is a bigger problem than a Shia terrorist group. So it's going to be a Shia version of ISIS that we will have in Iran, that hopefully the new secular democratic country that we have will become slowly, will grow and grow enough to be able to have a strong intelligence operations inside Iran, and a really good defense force to be able to keep fighting that. But the thing is that, as much as big of a problem that's going to be that we have to deal with, at least then they don't have the oil of Iran and the gas of Iran and the resources of Iran and the entire apparatus that they have, all these institutions that they have, all the industries that they have set up. They don't have that anymore. They have numbers. And again, this is going to be a huge problem, but it's less of a problem than what we are dealing with today, right? So yes, that is true. That's a problem that we have to deal with back then, but one step at a time. Let's get off the Islamic Republic, the regime first. And again, this is why this is not going, as you mentioned, this is a de-radicalization thing that we have to do as well. So it's not just a security issue. So one aspect of dealing with that is going to be having the new democratic secular Iran have a very strong, first of all, it needs to have a strong growing economy that it could use to invest in its security and its intelligence operation. But another aspect is people like us, Iranians like myself, and hundreds of thousands of other Iranians, actively continuing to advocate against Islam, and not just against Islam, but also pro secularism, right? So, which is de radicalization, right? So, the good thing is that Iranians are becoming more and more anti Islamic, but the whole anti Islamic activism in Iran doesn't end with the fall of the Islamic Republic. It begins with the fall of the Islamic Republic. Like everything that we have done against Islam in Iran, it's just the first chapter of what we're about to do once we have our hands untied and the state doesn't have control over the Iranian people anymore. That's the that would be the beginning of our activism. Like for example, my Persian channel, Atheist Republic's Persian channel, that's not the day that we retire and go away because the Islamic Republic has fallen. That we're like, okay, our work our main work is now just started. Because in the same way that Iran has been in the main, oh, Dolly is here. Hi, Dolly. I've shared this live with my Iranian friend. Oh, thank you, Dolly. That's very sweet. Okay, but let me actually give you. Oh, I got so happy to see Dolly in the chat. Let me just. This is an important thing I want to say. In the same way that Iran has become a center of a lot of world's problems because of the Islamic Republic, I think when the Islamic Republic falls and Iran becomes a secular democracy, that's not just Iran stop stop being a problem. That's not just the beginning of Iran stopping from being a problem from for Israel, other countries in the Middle East, and the world. That's just half of it. It also starts becoming the solution. In the same way that the Islamic Republic was exporting its radical ideologies and methodologies all around the world and caused a lot of terrorism and tension everywhere, I think a secular democratic Iran, beyond just not being a problem, will become a source of secularism and liberalism and capitalism and commerce, not just for Iran, but also for the entire region. In the same way that it was during the Pahlavis before. Like during the Pahlavis, Iran was a main source of stability in the region. So it will go back to becoming a main source of stability in the region, and it will have positive effects not just on Iranian people, not just on Israel, but everywhere. Like one thing that I fantasize about is Iranian secularism. Like we will have a homegrown secular activism in Iran that is putting its attention on Afghanistan and Pakistan, especially on Afghanistan because we speak the same language. Yeah, Iranians speak the same language as many people in Afghanistan. Like, I would love to be, inspiring activism in Iran that is focusing on getting smartphones to Afghanistan, to children in Afghanistan, that could directly get connected to satellite. So it already has AI teachers on it, and it has already satellite internet on it, and we will basically get education into the hands of children in Afghanistan and secularize them and liberalize them and educate them. You don't even need school because Taliban is not letting them have any schools or anything like that. But you don't really need schools. You just need something as small as a phone to get them into their homes, and then we will basically start building Afghanistan from the bottom up as well. That's the things I think about, right? Yeah, Afghanistan is such a sad situation, Darko. But I'm thinking long term. Like right now, the Taliban, it actually does. Unlike, this is the difference between Afghanistan and Iran. The Islamic Republic doesn't really reflect the Iranian people on average. But unfortunately, the Taliban, again, not all, the Taliban does reflect the average in Afghanistan. That's why regime change doesn't make sense in Afghanistan, because the Taliban is actually a reflection of what's going on in Afghanistan, unfortunately. So for Afghanistan, so in Iran, you don't need to do bottom up much anymore. You just need to remove the head, because the bottom up approach has already worked. I mean, has already done its job. So we just need to remove the top. But in Afghanistan, we need to work on the bottom up approach more than the top down approach. We need to do the long term investment. Let me actually show you the video finally that I wanted to keep showing you. I will respond to the super chats if there are any super chats. So let's listen to this, because this is on Fox News. And who is this? This is is she a, yeah, she's a Trump. She's Laura Lee Trump. So she's related to Trump. So we're getting very close to Trump himself. Is she related to Trump? Yeah, she is. Yep. Okay. She is related. Okay. Yep. She is in the family. So, yeah. So it's very important. Like, guys, if Trump, because we already had, yeah. So this is Eric Trump's wife, apparently. Yes, thank you, Delta. Eric Trump's wife. So this is Eric Trump's wife on Fox News. And this means we're just 1 degree of separation away from Trump, because Reza Pahlavi has already met with Netanyahu and it was very good. We just need him to meet with Trump as well, and that by itself will just give him so much credibility. And by then, it would be game over. It would be game over for any other. Basically, I mean, it's already game over, to be honest. I mean, it has now been very clear that there is nothing else. It's either Reza Pahlavi or the Ayatollahs. There is no other option. So let's watch this first.
What happens next for Iran? If the Ayatollahs stay the course, more devastation is inevitable. But if the Iranian people, those who have suffered for decades, rise up and chart a different path, a freer, more prosperous Iran could emerge. One that embraces peace, regional trade, and the prosperity of its own people instead of the hatred of others. Waiting in the wings is a man who believes in that vision. His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince of Iran. He spent years preparing for this moment. And now, as the regime falters, he may represent Iran's best chance at a new beginning.
There's only one way to achieve peace: a secular, democratic Iran. The Iranian people, unlike this regime, are your friends. We are allied in vision and in principle. And the sooner this regime is gone, there will no longer be any reason for any American to feel insecure about what kind of harm can this regime bring, not just to U.S. interests, but to everybody in the region. And that is a commitment that Iranians have to prove the world that this time, why don't you count on us? We are the agent of change. Unlike this regime, we seek peace, we seek stability, and the best of relationship with the United States, which, by the way, we had before the revolution. And I know many Americans remember that. People in your military, people who had remember what Iran was like, the kind of relationship we had, were the first one to be targeted by this regime. The first thing this regime did was to take hostages in the embassy in Tehran. And since then, they've been menacing. Thousands of American personnel have been killed during all these years. So I think this is where we can say that a different Iran will be committed to work closely and with the best of intentions with our neighbors and, of course, with the United States of America, that has a particular place in our hearts. And Iranians have proven time and again, when they chant, they lie to us, it's America, our enemy is right here, meaning they know exactly the difference between what this regime has in terms of evil intentions, particularly guided to America, as opposed to a liberated Iran that will prove to the world, and particularly to America, that we are your friends.
Right. So, I mean, the whole here's the thing: the leftists who are spreading anti-Pahlavi narratives everywhere, people are like, "Oh, should we believe them?" I mean, imagine if they came into power. They hate America. They hate imperialist West. Like, why would you consider that to be they hate Israel. They believe in the so-called Palestinian cause. Why would you want them? Why would you support them? And again, some Israelis might be tempted to support the Kurdish separatists. That's a horrible idea. Every poll suggests that the Kurdish separatists in Iran are not just unpopular among average Iranian. They're unpopular among Kurdish people. Iranian Kurds are obsessed about Iran's border integrity. Iranian Kurds are patriotic. They see themselves as Iranian first, Kurdish second. So the only thing you're doing, if you support Kurdish separatists in Iran, the only thing you're doing is that you're losing your key ally in this fight, which is Iranian people. The Iranian people. Oh, by the way, I saw some Israelis, some. I know most Israelis do not think like this. But by the way, guys, I saw we got more super chats. Thank you so much, guys. I will respond to the super chats right after this. I saw some Israelis were saying like, "Oh, we came and attacked, and there was no uprising, so maybe we cannot rely on the Iranian people." I first like, what the hell? It's been 12 days. Maybe guys like go read a history book. Some revolutions sometimes they take years, right? Like the revolutionary movement in Iran only started after 98. This is and the uprisings that we had so far, the Iranian people had a very bad experience with every single one of them, and we're still under war-like conditions. And by the way, it seems like there's a lot of reports coming in that Israel might actually attack pretty soon again. So we don't know. Holy crap! We got a major super chat. Thank you so much. What currency is this even? The hell? Where is this from? MX. Oh, okay. This is Mexican. Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know why it's pink. All right. Okay, so it's pink. That's why I thought it. Well, thank you so much for that from Mexico. Thank you. Thank you. Um, wait, what is that saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, the expectations might be too high. And also we saw again. This has been exaggerated. Yes, of course. Whenever there's war, there will always be some rally around the flag effect. But in Iran, that has been minor. The regime has amplified the very few rally around the flag effect that they have received to make it seem like it's bigger than it is. It's not. It's not that big. Most Iranian people are celebrating the death of key IRGC commanders. Even Iranians who are not very pro-Israeli, they're not sad but from seeing IRGC commanders being killed like that. They are sad for seeing some civilians dying, but overall, they think this was a net positive outcome, because the main killers of Iranian people have been the IRGC and the Islamic Republic. So most Iranians celebrate seeing these people die. So don't let the media and don't let the Islamic Republic and leftist propaganda kind of suggest that, oh, because you attack Iranian people went back to the Islamic Republic. Yes, there will always be some of that, but that has been minor. And again, it's either the Iranian people toppling the regime or there's no toppling of the regime. I mean, Israel and its intelligence and its air force, what it can do is just weaken the regime enough for eventually the Iranian people to topple it themselves. But for the actual toppling, something needs to happen on the ground. And the only people who are there to do the last push are the Iranian people. But let me actually look at some of the super chat. We got a pink super chat. Thank you so much by Sabe from Mexico. Thank you so much. We don't usually get super chats from Mexico, so that's great. I always love seeing how international we are. Sabe saying, I had an idea. Wouldn't it be better to frame this as assisted revolution rather than regime change? I mean, why? It's a revolution that is going to lead into a regime change. It's more accurate, emphasizes the agency of the Iranian people. And I mean, the Iranian people themselves keep asking for barandazi. Barandazi means the toppling of the regime. So if you're talking about the agency of the Iranian people, the Iranian people themselves refer to it as barandas, which is basically regime change. So if you want to focus on the agency of the Iranian people, that's how they refer to it. So, and then saying, and separates it from cases like Iraq or Afghanistan. What do you think, Armin? So, because you're talking about a Western perspective, because when you talk about regime change, so yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe because the Iranian people themselves look at it as regime change, but maybe in Western media, a revolution is seen something done by the people themselves, and a regime change is seen as something that is done from outside, even though technically it is it's a revolution that will turn into a regime change. So yeah, because of the Iraq war, maybe many Americans will consider a regime change be something done to a people rather than something done by people. I mean, it's a wrong way at looking at it, but you're right. Maybe from a branding perspective, maybe from a perspective revolution. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I mean, it's hard to do that though because of how. I mean, Trump has already mentioned regime change. The Iranian people are already mentioning regime change. I mean, maybe you're right, but how are we going to do it given that the word regime change is already now everywhere? You know what I mean? Like, even if you're right, we're not as powerful to change the discussion around that. We're not as we're not that big to be able to make that change. Maybe you're right. Actually, you're right. I mean, you could be. Now that I think about it, you could be correct. But it's very difficult for us to make that change, given what people are already saying. So given that, so here's my conclusion. Given that people are already using the word regime change, and we don't have much power to change that, maybe the other thing, the second best alternative to your suggestion, is to make it so that regime change is not such a taboo thing to mention, because people keep saying like, oh, regime change is bad, Iraq, Afghanistan, and like, regime change, okay, what about Japan, what about Germany? It seemed like that turned out fine. And also Iraq, it also turned out fine, it just took longer, because not because of the military intervention was a bad idea, but because of the politics that came after the military intervention happened wrong. It was done wrong. So first of all, if you look at Iraq today is actually better than Iraq under Saddam. It just took too long. We had too much. We had a decade of chaos in the middle that could have been shortened if, once the successful regime change in Iraq have happened, the politicians like Rumsfeld didn't come in and decide to just dismantle the entire Ba'ath party and not and remove everybody from power that had anything to do with that party. That was the mistake. That's what caused the chaos. That's what caused the rise of ISIS. It wasn't the military intervention. The military intervention that was done uh, pretty. It was pretty effective. Let me see. Okay, so we got a lot of more super chats, so let me respond to them. By the way, thank you guys for the super chats. By the way, guys, the super chats has made the live streams a lot more, financially, uh, has made the channel a lot more stable. So let me just be very grateful for the super chats, because every time I go live now, we get like a decent amount of super chats, which means like, which means that the channel is going to be, because sometimes we're profitable and then other times we're in the red, and we can't actually pay our expenses. But ever like recently, the super chats have become and high enough that if it keeps being like this, the channel is not going to be we're not going to be, a lot of our financial problems are going to go away. So thank you so much, if I mean, if this remains like this. So thank you. Ramo is saying, did you watch? I don't know ever know how to pronounce her name. I know who you're talking about. Elika Leban and Dave Smith on Piers Morgan. Yes, I watched it and I hated it because they didn't let her make her points, and I think they didn't understand what she was saying. Yeah, I think she was using. I think she needs to be, when she goes on debates like that, she needs to simplify her points, and she also, I mean, it was two against one. It was two against one. And they kept on interrupting her every time she was about to make her point. And I mean, she needs to practice to be more forceful. She was like, hey guys, if you actually want my answer, you cannot just get butthurt as soon as you hear my first sentence. So here's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be like, hey guys, I'm going to answer your question, but to be able to understand my point, you actually have to allow me to finish a couple of sentences. And my beginning sentences are probably going to be triggering, but you're big boys, and I think that you guys are going to be able to handle it. And let me actually finish a couple of sentences before you interrupt me. Are you able to do that before I begin answering you? Are you guys able to do that? And then get a like a confirmation from them that they're going to let you finish a point before you actually start making that argument. That would be my suggestion for her, to do that. Let me go to another super chat here. By the way, thank you guys for being members as well. Bose is saying Mullah regime is imploding. Why left wanted stay? Oh, okay. Why? That's a very good question. So, why Iranians leftists are now trying to like the up? So this is actually a very interesting thing that is happening. Far leftist Iranians who are the opposition against the Islamic Republic these days are supporting the regime against Israel and against other enemies because they know if the regime falls today, the the Pahlavi dynasty will come back, and Reza Pahlavi will have the upper hand. And they are so they don't they are sometimes anti-regime, but they want the regime to fall because they were successful for a couple of years, for a couple of decades, into making Reza Pahlavi and the Pahlavi dynasty look bad. But now the whole Pahlavi popularity is back, and a lot of Iranians are rediscovering their history and falling like the new generation of Iranians never experienced Pahlavi, but now they're rediscovering their own past and they're falling in love with it. And the leftists in Iran hate it. So a lot of leftist opposition in Iran doesn't even want the regime to fall because it's noticing that the new generation in Iran is so pro Pahlavi. So they think like maybe if the alternative to the Islamic Republic is going to be Pahlavi, we actually prefer the Islamic Republic. Because so the leftists in Iran, the problem that they have with the Islamic Republic is, the Islam part of it, the rules, their strict rules, hijab. I don't know, maybe it's anti-LGBT positions, okay? But when it comes to the leftists, even though they might care about freedom for women, LGBT rights, they might care about those things, but their higher priority is anti-imperialism and anti-Zionism. So leftists might come and tell you that, oh, we care about LGBT and we care about women's rights, but that's secondary to their values, to their main values, their main agenda, which is anti-imperialism, anti-West, what they call Western imperialism, and anti-Zionism. So if they're anti-Islamic Republic, is because of women rights and LGBT rights. But if the alternative to the Islamic Republic is Pahlavi, given that Pahlavi is going to be pro-West and pro-Israel, between the Islamic Republic and Pahlavi, they actually choose the Islamic Republic. Because as bad as the Islamic Republic is in the mind of some of these leftists, they think, well, at least it's anti-imperialist. At least it's anti-Zionist. And that is more important. So these days, they actually, the so-called leftist opposition in Iran, they are focusing more of their activism against Pahlavi rather than against the Islamic Republic. So that's why you have to be careful when you hear about opposition in the anti-Islamic Republic opposition in Iran. You have to be very careful because just because they're opposition to the Islamic Republic, that doesn't mean you should be trusting them. Again, there's two easy checks. What is their position in Israel? What is their position on Pahlavi? Honestly, there's only one check because usually when they answer one of these right, they answer the other one right as well. Usually, okay. So you could just ask one of these, and you could ask both just to be safe because there are some exceptions. Okay, so Condovo saying, please have again. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Elihu Yosin on your Farsi channel. Hold on. I heard this name. I have to see the faces. Who's this again? You see, I don't even know. No, I don't know. Well, I spelled it wrong. Eli, Elia. Okay, guys, just tell me. I don't know how to. Who is this guy? Oh, found it. Okay, appears to be. Who's this guy? Yeah, I don't know him. Okay, can you introduce him? Okay, let me tell me. Oh, Elihu. Oh, okay. Thank you, Amir. Eliyahu Yosian. He is Israeli Iranian. Eliyahu Yosian. Amir wrote it in Arabic so I could read it. He is brilliant. Do you guys like him? If he's Iranian, why does he have a? His name is not Persian. Like, doesn't sound right. So let me see. Okay, so he's good. You guys are a fan. Iranian Jew, Israeli, anti-liberal. He's anti-liberal. You mean anti-leftist, right? Because liberal guys, like, when you mean liberal, when you say liberal, let me know exactly what you mean, because we're liberal, anti-liberal, and also anti-regime change. Okay, wait. So why is he? If he's anti-liberal and also anti-regime change, then why you guys are calling him brilliant? Oh, Rachel saying, great to catch you live. Thank you, Rachel. I will highlight that super chat soon. Okay, Flying Duck Robot Duck saying, never heard of him. So he's anti-actual liberalism. Okay, well that's not good. He's not anti-regime change. Oh, Amir saying he's not brilliant. You will smash him. Oh, okay. So you guys want to debate then? Okay, bring him on then. Bring him on. So guys, go tell him to email me. Okay. So guys, here's the thing. If you guys want on my on this channel, because I spent so much time chasing people with no results. So instead of me chasing them, tell them to email me. Okay. Let me actually read your entire super chat because I forgot to. So bring him on your Farsi channel. He's a respected Iranian Israeli political analyst. Why is he respected if he's anti-liberal? He has lots of insights on Iran. He seems to be full of crap. Then, if he's anti-regime change and he's anti-liberal, then he seems to be full of crap. Why is he so respected? But yeah, bring him here. This is my email. Tell him to email me, guys. If you guys want people on the channel, on this channel, I need them to email me so I know there's some interest, because I'm not gonna go begging people to come show up. Oh, guys, also Tulsi, can you get Tulsi to email me, because I will just respond to him. Just go tell him to email me. This is my email: armin.navobi@gmail.com. Tulsi, sorry, I said Tulsi. I was thinking Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi TV. Tulsi. Okay. Here's my email. Please get them to email me. Then we will make something happen. Let me see. We got more super chats. Oh, he lives in Israel. Yeah, he seems to have is he a leftist? Is he like a far leftist? By the way, guys, when I say leftist, please understand I myself have both right-leaning views and left-leaning views. I'm not anti all left-leaning views, okay? When we say leftist, we're not talking about all people with left-leaning views. We're talking about two types of left-leaning people. We're talking about Marxists and we're talking about woke people. That's what we mean here on this channel when we say leftist. We're not talking about liberal left-leaning people or right-leaning, so that's what we're talking about. So, oh, he's not a leftist. Okay. He is far right? People are saying he's a Leninist? How is he a far right Leninist? That makes no sense. He's a conservative? He's far right. He's C for. Okay, then why is he against? Okay, yeah. So maybe this is the horseshoe theory in effect. Is he an isolationist? I mean, how could you Okay. How could you be a far right person in Israel and be against regime change? Now somebody's saying he supports Pahlavi. I mean, if he supports Pahlavi, he should be for regime change. This guy is very confusing. Either you guys are misrepresenting his views, or he's very confusing person. So maybe I should just talk to him. Eh? So Eli is saying Yosian, oh, that guy is extreme. Should have somebody else. Tamar Iliam Gindin. Okay. So tell these people to email me. Go to them, get them. Yeah, okay. I will try to remember the people that you mentioned here in the chat. I will try to remember the name, and if they email me, then I will make it. I will make it a thing. I will make it a show. Okay. So Tamar Iliam Gindin. I mean, it's okay if they have extreme views. We could turn it into a debate. Yeah, Susanna is saying apparently he contains everything. He's the alpha. He's the alpha and the omega. He's a far right person with Leninist views and supports Pahlavi, but is anti-regime change. Yes, he's basically the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega, the left and the right, the radical and the moderate. He's all at once. He's everything. That's cool. He's the yin and the yang. Yeah. Okay. Oh, he's not. You're saying Yosian? He's not extreme. He's center right. So some people are saying he's far right. Now you're saying he's center right. Okay. So yeah, I would love to talk to him. Just get him to email me. Just get him to email me, please. Rachel saying, "Great to catch you live." Yeah. Again, see, guys, the chat is so much. Again, I know we have American and European fans and Indian fans here as well, and it's good to have them all. But the chat is just so much more, and it's good to have everybody. Okay, but we need to make sure that we have lives at the time that Israelis are awake as well. It's important. Again, I'm gonna try to do live at different hours because I want to make sure that Europeans are awake at sometimes, and then Israelis are awake at sometimes, and then also um, Americans are live at some, alive at sometimes, awake at sometimes. What am I talking about? They're awake, alive at sometimes. No, I awake at the times that I'm going live. I'm not. I know. I'm getting tired. I have to be sure. By the way, this is still when I do the Persian channel live streams. This is still as confusing because you would think this should be more simple when I go live on the Persian channel because all the Iranians are in. You think like my audience is in Iran, so you just have to go at a time live at the time where Iranians are awake. The problem is that the diaspora Iranians are a big community as well. So we have Iranians not just in Iran, we have Iranians in the East Coast, in the West Coast, in the UK, in Germany, in France. So Iranians are everywhere. So it's as confusing on the Persian channel to get it right. Kondovo is saying yes. Yosian is anti-leftist. He's a secular classical liberal. Okay, then why is he anti-regime change? But I would like to talk to him. He is for liberalism and regime change. He is for regime change? Okay, so you guys are just confusing me. So now I like him. Now he's great now. Now I'm a fan. Now I'm a big fan. And thank you for being a member for 1 month, by the way. So now we went from him being a Marxist Leninist to him being a far right anti-Pahlavi, anti-regime change, to all of a sudden he's a liberal center left pro Pahlavi, pro regime change person. So let's keep it at this last position because this last position is pretty good. Stop saying he's not for regime change. I'm not saying that. I'm just going based on what people are saying in the chat. Now I'm happy. I don't know what he was at the beginning of the now I like him. I went from not liking him that much to now liking him a lot. Oh, not you. Okay. Oh, okay. He's great now. I hated him 5 minutes ago, and I love him. Okay. Okay. Nike, how did I buy the flag? You keep saying, how did you buy the flag? You're spamming the chat now. I bought it online. Like everybody, where do you think I bought? Where do you think I got the flag? I got the flag exactly where everyone else gets everything. You go online and you purchase things. Like, oh my god, you're still asking that. Armin, you posted this a million times. Armin Navabi, how did you get a flag? There's this thing called the internet. It's the internet.com. It has this new thing. They call it. It's called online shopping. There's like you have a cart there. You add things to the cart there, and then you put in your credit card and you purchase and you put in your address, and it shows up. Like, I don't know if you've noticed. That's it. Like, it has been a thing for a while now. Saying okay, okay, okay. All right, let me actually answer a few more questions, and then we could head out. Oh yeah, Darko is saying, pretty sure some Europeans met with Pahlavi last week. Yes, they seem to be keeping talks in the dark, though. Yes, the Europeans are now talking to, which is very good, because the Europeans are usually the last one to figure out what's the right thing to do. But now that the Europeans are now talking to Pahlavi more, it seems like U.S. and Europe and Israel are the main people in all of these countries are coming to the conclusion, like, yeah, this is it, this is the guy, there's like, that's it. So things are moving in the right direction. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I told you after the war is over, the regime is going to take revenge of its own people. Like, not over, like when during the ceasefire. So they're doing a lot of arrests. Apparently, they arrested many people being accused as spies, and a lot of these people who are apparently spies, they are spies just because they during like some people who are being arrested as spies in Iran right now, spies for Israel. Like, some of them were arrested just because during the war, during the 12-day war, they were posting stuff about, oh my god, this is horrible. Um, and they were not being happy about the situation. So apparently that's good enough to you being accused of spies. And another thing, they're arresting now in Iran as we're speaking. They're arresting a lot of Baha'is and Jews. They're going after Jews in Iran and arresting them. And I want people to know that, because some people were suggesting that, oh, Jews in Iran, they just love the Islamic Republic. They just have it so great. Right now, they're arresting Jews because they're Jews, because they see the Baha'is and Jews in Iran as potential spies, which is so stupid. By the way, it's not just evil; it's very stupid, because we it's it has now been proven that the spies that they should have been worried about were sitting right next to them. It was other IRGC members, but they refuse to. But they're still going after people they're labeling the people who are not spies. They're going after them as potential spies, because they noticed how much intelligence they had, off of all their activities and everything in Iran before the 12-day war, and that's why so many of them died. So they're looking for spies, but they're looking in all the obvious wrong places. All the obviously wrong places. They're looking at young people's social media activities. They're going after the Baha'is. They're going after the Jews, because they're like, oh, you're a Jew. Israel is Jewish. So it was you, wasn't it? You are the spies. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how could they be the spies? And obviously, like, the spies were other members of IRGC, but they need to show results, because many regime supporters have realized how horrible the weaknesses of the intelligence, the regime's intelligence is. So they just want to arrest for the sake of showing that we're arresting people to their supporters. And because their supporters are dumb, I mean, the regime is not dumb. The regime knows that their supporters are dumb. So, and their supporters are dumb enough to think like, oh, obviously the spies in Iran must be coming from the Baha'i and the Jewish community in Iran. So now they're just going after the Baha'is and Jews in Iran just so that the regime supporters are happy. So remind people next time somebody comes here like, oh, I heard from a Jew in Iran that they actually prefer the Islamic Republic over Israel. Tell them to f off. Tell them that, like, oh yeah, sure, they went and found a Jew in Iran that is just ready to just give the government like it's so unfair. Like the Jews in Iran, obviously the ones who are anti-regime are not going to be able to come and say how anti-regime they are. So among all the Jews in Iran, the few that are willing to just spread the government's propaganda, those are the ones who will be given airtime, and they're the only ones who are going to be able to give the opportunity to say something. And then when you go and spread that, you're basically spreading the regime's propaganda. All right, so we got another super chat right before I was gonna say goodbye. Andrew, thank you, saying love these streams, love these live streams, keep them coming. Okay, yeah. I'm actually, guys, something I like about the new format of our streams, it's a lot more conversation with the chat. So it's not just me coming and doing a show about a topic. It's because the super chats are getting to a level where I could just like respond to a lot of super chats, and it's just like a conversation with you guys in the chat. Yeah, Sohail is keeps noticing my flag. Yes, Sohail, I have a flag now. But again, Andrew, thank you, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. So Sohail, I'm gonna come on the Persian channel. After this, I'm gonna do a live on the Persian channel right after we're done here. So I'm waiting to see, because a lot of people here in this chat commented on the flag, but I bet you that we're gonna see a lot. Like when I go live on the Persian channel, I bet you a lot of people in the chat are gonna comment on the flag. So I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen when I go live on the Persian channel. I'm gonna do that in a few. No, Sahel, don't spam. You're the admin. Why would you spam? Okay, but fine, sure, you can spam. You're allowed. So hell, you're the admin. Yes. Amir is saying, don't forget to like the stream. And beyond liking the stream, please recommend this channel. We're giving you a lot of good information, a lot of detailed information in a fun way that you might not get in other places. So Nike is saying, Armin Navabi, you look like you're in an embassy. I mean, I wish, I hope one day, you know what would be the day? The day that you walk in an Iranian embassy and you see these flags instead of the Islamic Republic's flag. The day that you see an Iranian passport and instead of the Allah symbol, you see the lion and the sword symbol in the middle of the Iranian passport. That would be the day. That would be the day. Yes, okay. Like the stream, guys. Share the stream. Leave a comment. Recommend the Atheist Republic's YouTube channel to your friends and your enemies. And why do I go Trump at the end of the show every time now? And what else? Oh yes, I'm Israel Khai and Javid Shah. Mwah. Bye guys.